Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
It seems that he knows that he is looked down on by Meng Ze, and the next processing speed of the system is quite powerful. Within 2 minutes, Meng Ze had just resumed communication with the dog-headed bun, when the system prompted Meng Ze that the identity disguise had been completed, and asked him to check it in time. Meng Ze ignored it for a while, and the grumbling of dog-headed buns was already heard in his ears. I said, brother, do you want it or not? I was talking about things, but in a blink of an eye it was gone. Yes, of course, you make a price, bun boss. Meng Ze hurriedly replied, 19 million, cheap for you. Poof, big guy, you say this is a special price. However, a branch of science and technology is still second level, and the main building sold is more expensive than the main building of first level technology, which is much more expensive, and this price is a little beyond Meng Ze's expectations. It's indeed a discount, brother. You can also be considered a good fate. There are people in the family to support. I think when brother Bao and I struggled on my own, it was difficult to get a rare level second level technology, and your start is a legendary level. The dog-headed bun took his offer for granted, and poured out his hardships back then. Meng Ze secretly inquired about the free market, and indeed, the price given by the dog-head bun was 1 million crystal or cheaper. If you tell your own lie, you have to give the circle back. Tearfully threw down most of the day's resource production, and obtained a second-level science and technology single-soldier concentrated power package that was temporarily unused. Bun boss, what does that 30 Carter mean? Little brother, I don't understand. The money was spent, and Meng Ze had to figure out the message. This is simple. The instantaneous maximum power of 30 Carter, converted into the maximum attack power, that can be provided is 60. The maximum power that the power package can output determines the upper limit of your class attack. Your technology level is high, but the power package output is not enough, and the attack power cannot go up. So brother Bao, I didn't pit you. Although the concentrated power pack is only a second level technology, it makes sense that it is expensive. After getting the money, the dog-head bun was in a good mood, and explained to Meng Ze in detail the importance of the power pack. Hearing the dog-headed bun's words, Meng Ze felt as if something was wrong, and hurriedly asked, what is the output power of the ordinary version of the concentrated energy bag? The standard is 5 carats. Isn't there no change at all from first level technology to second level technology? Meng Ze said in surprise. It should be known that the attack power of the biochemical lancer of first level technology can reach 10 points, indicating that the output power of the first level individual power pack provided by the interstellar world is also 5 carats. If you use the ordinary version of the concentrated energy package, this has changed from the first stage to the second level, and the output power has not increased at all. Dog-headed buns disagreed with this. Although the output power has not increased, the battery life is almost infinite. How can it be said that there is no change? And in addition to the level of the power pack, upgrading the power pack technology can also improve the output efficiency of the power pack. That's a lot worse than the mysterious one. Nonsense. You don't look at how much the price difference between the two is. The second level ordinary single soldier concentrated power package technology chip, a piece is only 100,000. The dog-headed bun gave this interstellar family, who was born in bliss and did not know the blessing of Big White Eye. Hanging up the communication, Meng Ze marked the chip of the single soldier concentrated power pack transmitted by the dog-headed bun, and put it away in the storage box of the console. According to the dog-headed bun, with the mysterious level concentrated energy single soldier power pack bonus, as long as Meng Ze's other technologies keep up, there is no problem with the third level commander's class against K. With the stimulation of this secondary technology, Meng Ze wants to upgrade the secondary command center immediately. However, it was later discovered that it was not enough to simply upgrade the second level command center, but also to upgrade the second level biochemical arsenal, which represented a large number of resource needs, and Meng Ze had to temporarily abandon this idea. At this time, Meng Ze somewhat understood why even the big guys would not deliberately pursue mysterious items. Without it, it is simply impossible to raise. Every time the level of chips or drawings used in construction and technology increases, whether it is construction or upgrade, the resources required are doubled. Even if it is a big guy, it must selectively promote some or several types of troops. Like Meng Ze, who is fully blooming, there is no high-level one, and there may be a few losers at the lower level who will do this, but at the high level, it is estimated that they cannot afford it. For example, biochemical gunners, the first level of every one unified standard 100 crystal ore. If it is the second level, ordinary biochemical gunners 200, mysterious level biochemical gunners are 2001. If it is not equipped with mysterious level power packs, mystical level individual armor, and mysterious level attack weapons. That second level mysterious level spearman is only 5 times higher in vitality than ordinary biochemical spearman, but the price is 10 times that of the latter. If it is equipped with a 3-piece set of mysterious level technology, the combat effectiveness will go up, and the cost of the same technological upgrade will also double. Regardless of how you calculate it, the price-performance ratio is not the best, but this does not mean that elite arms have no advantages. Many times the battlefield space is limited. At that time, the combat effectiveness of elite arms will be concentrated embodiment. Ordinary arms alone will not be opponents at all. Even in the open field, the contact surface is limited after the battle line is spread. Figuratively speaking, if 10 ordinary soldiers and 1 elite class fight, ordinary soldiers win. 100 ordinary soldiers and 10 elite soldiers fought, and the two sides were drawn. 1,000 ordinary soldiers and 100 elite classes fight, and the elite class wins. If the number continues to increase, the wear and tear of the elite class will become lower and lower. So, in the end, the elite class is definitely good, but if you want to have fun, you have to be very mineral. Meng Ze has a near infinite mine in hand, and it must belong to the very rich mine in the future, but now he does not have enough mining capacity to guard the treasure mountain, and he is still a poor ghost. A little sadly clicking on the Refurbishment Research Institute, looking at the 6 technologies that can be upgraded in it. 1 million upgrades, which is not expensive. Meng Ze finally regained a little confidence. Among these 6 technologies, the heavy equipment power package and the aerospace power package correspond to the power output efficiency of land-based and space, including atmospheric air force arms respectively. Land-based armor and land-based weapons correspond to the defensive and offensive capabilities of land-based armored arms, respectively. Space armor and space weapons correspond to the defense and attack power of the space arms, respectively. Meng Ze arranged to upgrade all 6 technologies at once, and the upgrade time was 3 days. But wait a while and lose a day. Meng Ze has decided to use the enhancement gene regent before quitting the game, and the sooner you use it, the more profitable it will be. Ranking up the 5 technologies of the Engineering Research Institute, Meng Ze's resources are used up again, and there are no resources to upgrade other technologies. The method of using the enhanced gene region is intramuscular intravenous injection, which Meng Ze himself will not do, but he does not need to do it. Place the booster gene regent in the designated groove of the console and sit yourself in the commander's seat. Only the system in the command center can operate the intelligent robotic arm to help Meng Ze complete the injection process. With a brilliant liquid poured into his body, Meng Ze didn't feel too much discomfort. I just noticed a cold line running along my veins. Meng Ze is prompted to exit the game as soon as possible, find a position to lie flat, and wait for the genetic enhancement process to complete. Meng Ze immediately quit the game and lay down on the bed at home. I wanted to experience the transformation process in detail, but within 2 minutes Meng Ze gradually lost consciousness. After taking a shower and washing away all the impurities, dirt, dead skin and even scattered blood stains all over his body, Meng Ze stood in front of the mirror refreshed. The whole person is like a new life. The complexion is glossy and firm, the facial features are bright, the eyes are bright, plus the height of 1.78 m, the straight body. Even if Meng Ze's skin is a little fair at this time, it also gives people a hard, heroic feeling. In addition to the external changes, the internal changes are also great. All kinds of sub-health discomforts in the past have disappeared. The heart beats strongly, the pulse is strong, the body is full of energy, the thinking changes very quickly, and the spirit is clear. The appearance automatically optimized by genetic modulation, the vigorous vitality emanating from the inside out, coupled with the trace of commanding thousands of troops and Swang Fang Zio's temperament cultivated as a commander over this period of time. Meng Ze, who was originally only at the level of a middle-aged person, was raised by life, which can be said to be heroic and handsome. Suddenly such a big change makes Meng Ze feel a little ethereal. After taking a few deep breaths, Meng Ze put aside all the messy thoughts and glanced at his phone. Almost a day later, tomorrow will be the weekend. Thinking of meeting Huawei again tomorrow, my heart was quite eager. As early as that, I called the Wanjia Hotel, where I had stayed several times, and made an appointment for tomorrow's meal. At that time, the hotel will deliver to the door according to the agreed time, saving Meng Ze to do it himself. Meng Ze's cooking level is still only at the stage of being able to eat, far from delicious. After the meal was decided, Meng Ze summoned a virtual screen projection. After genetic optimization, he has an excellent memory, and he hurriedly withdrew yesterday, and the things prompted by the system were forgotten by him, and now he needs to understand what identity the system has arranged for him. Meng Ze, the grandson of Meng Shaon, a 3-star general of the Imperial Federation, whose father was assassinated at an early age. His mother died of illness 3 years ago, and his grandfather had taken a back seat and remained influential in the military. His father and 3 brothers, the eldest uncle Meng Ze, the lieutenant general of the Federal Empire, and the second uncle Meng Ze, the deputy head of the administration of Kixing. Meng Ze 2 brothers. The eldest brother was trained by the family, entered the army for training, and is now a lieutenant colonel officer. Meng Ze himself was stubborn and unbearable, and 3 days ago he was seriously injured due to a black market dispute and has now died, and the relevant insiders have been erased. Uncle Meng Ze's children. Meng Ze's second uncle's children. The commander will replace the identity of the Meng Ze of the Meng family, a military family of the same name, and this genetic optimization has been systematically interfered with, and the appearance is slightly different from the original owner after adjustment, but because the commander has used the strengthening gene regent, this is not a hidden danger. All the relevant information records of the original master in the intelligent host of the Imperial Federation have been collected by the system, and will be provided to the commander in due course, and Meng Ze's personal information has all been replaced. In addition to the detailed description, the system also attached a photo of the original owner, Meng Ze. This kid of the same name and Meng Ze really have 7 or 8 points, but the whole person is lifeless, and has a sense of excessive decadence. The photograph shows August the 11th, 21748 in the Imperial Federal Calendar, the day before the death of the original owner. After reading this information, Meng Ze believes that the system still spends a lot of thought. As long as he pays more attention in the future, there is almost no danger of exposure, in cooperation with the system. And the identity of this candidate also confirms the dialogue with the previous Dream Star Night Glow. The only thing to worry about is that Meng Ze is not really located in the Imperial Federation, and cannot really be in the past. But when Meng Ze thought about it, the information the system told solved the problem. Imperial Federation players in the interstellar world can survive in the interstellar world for a long time, unless they die in the interstellar world or voluntarily. They will not be forced to quit, and clothing, food, shelter and transportation can be purchased in the interstellar world market. Due to concealment reasons, Meng Ze was previously blocked by the system from product information related to the world market. Of course, Meng Ze privately believes that there is also a problem of trust with the system. Not only that, but Meng Ze itself is different from Imperial Federation players. Meng Ze itself is forcibly implanted in this world by the system. The 2 worlds are dislocated in time and space, in order to not make an error every time you shuttle. Meng Ze's body and clock are forcibly solidified and bound by the system, resulting in Meng Ze can only rely on the real world to survive. With a systematic explanation, Meng Ze finally understood why he would not feel hungry after spending dozens of hours in the interstellar world. Entering the interstellar world again, Meng Ze noticed a noticeable change. Under the base icon in the upper right corner, originally all of them, the coordinates became concrete numbers, 77844312111E7650I. As Meng Ze notices this, the system prompts, the command center has been perfectly integrated into the StarCraft simulation world, and the base shield will disappear in 3 days. Wait, system, after the shielding cover disappears, some players detect the base area. Won't the mining area be completely exposed? Yes, Commander, I need to camouflage the mining area and disguise all the crystal ore piles as ore piles, and I believe you can do that. After a few seconds, the system prompts, crystal ore pile camouflage completed. System, you are so intelligent, almost no different from normal life. What are you? This time the system did not respond to Meng Ze's doubts. After waiting for a while, Meng Ze gave up, but he became more and more sure that his system and the system in the novel were not the same thing. He had intelligence, not like a procedural product, but more like life. After using the enhanced gene agent, Meng Ze's building production, R&D, collection, and construction efficiency has been increased by 50%, and crystal consumption has been reduced by 5%. Reflected in the actual situation, the most significant is the increase in mining efficiency of unmanned mining machines. The efficiency of the initial 1.0, now coupled with the 80% improvement of science and technology, and the 50% provided by the enhanced gene regent, the output has increased to 2.3 times the original, and the daily output has reached 55.2 million crystal ores, equivalent to 2.3 super-rich ores, which is quite terrifying. With resources, the first time, of course, is to use it for development, and the Engineering Research Institute and the Reinstallation Research Institute are still being studied, and they cannot be spent for the time being. The 3 technologies of the Life Research Institute, biochemical synthesis, biological hormones, and sensory interference naturally began to upgrade at the first time. Among the 3 technologies of the Life Research Institute, Biochemical synthesis increases the manufacturing speed of biochemical arms, increasing by 10% per level. In addition, there is a certain probability of researching new biochemical classes on their own or upgrading the original class, and the probability of each level up is about 5%. Biohormones are agents that temporarily improve the combat effectiveness of biochemical soldiers, and research on biohormones can improve the effect and duration of biohormones, and each level increases the effect and duration by 10%. Sensory interference is similar to the ability to control the field. Different sensory interference reagents can deal with different hostile life forms. The higher the level, the stronger the effect. Before level 10, these technologies consumed 1 million per level, and Meng Ze spent 3 million, casually, Meng Ze then inspected other buildings, and there was no technology to improve. Some technologies have clearly been displayed, but when Meng Ze chooses, it will indicate that the command center level is insufficient. Meng Ze had to give up for a while. After turning the technology around, it cost 3 million, and there was really no place to spend money, and Meng Ze simply built a new building. An additional 170 supply stations were built, bringing the total to 300, which could accommodate 300,000 units of troops, at a cost of 17 million. 4 more biochemical arsenals were built, increasing the total to 10, and according to the existing level of science and technology, it could produce 16,000 units of biochemical soldiers per hour, at a cost of 4 million. 8 new forges were added, bringing the total to 10 at a cost of 16 million. The number of airfields was increased by 3, bringing the total to 5, at a cost of 9 million. Adding additional buildings to these two types of buildings would cost another 2.2 million. Subsequently, Meng Ze saw the expansion of the territory and the lack of protection in many places, and added 30 missile launch pads and 30 forts. As these 6 million are spent, the crystal ore in stock is spent. There is no food in hand, and there is no panic in the heart. When the crystal ore was gone, Meng Ze stopped to think about his next plan. Originally, it was planned to upgrade the command center, only after upgrading all the first-level technology, but now it seems that the plan needs to be advanced. The improvement of the technology level is too slow compared to the accumulation of Meng Ze resources. Upgrading the secondary command center requires 50 million crystal ore, which is just 1 day for Meng Ze. In addition, after this wave of construction, Meng Ze's buildings covered an area of more than 200 square kilometers, and this was without continuing to add new soldiers. Once the explosion began, Meng Ze even suspected that there would be no place for the troops. 1,000 ghost fighters were the most suitable force for Pathfinder in Meng Ze's hands at this time, fast and not limited by terrain. With the assistance of the command center, Meng Ze scattered all the ghost fighter ferries like flowers. Meng Ze set a 2-hour exploration time for the ghost fighter. When the time came to return east, south, no abnormalities found. All or no man's land. To the north, Meng Ze discovers a new mine, but just an ordinary mine. A single pile of crystal ore is 500,000 units, recovering 500 units per hour, a total of 20 piles, and a daily output of 2.4 million yuan. Meng Ze is actually a little unsightly about this, but in line with the idea that mosquito legs are small in meat, he decided to buy a command center and throw it over when he has resources, and slowly pick it. The territory around the crystal mine can also be used to house various buildings, which can be regarded as building a defense line in the north. The first level command center is only 10 million, even less than the price of a mysterious level drawing. As long as it is not upgraded, this money will be spent. West. After reaching the time set by Meng Ze, one of the ghost fighters detoured back and found the tracks of other players. In the fleeting field of vision of the ghost fighter, a small team of biochemical lancers appeared. When it was discovered on Meng Ze's side, more than 500 kilometers away from Meng Ze, the Imperial Federation rookie player dreamed of overtaking on the corner, and also found an anomaly. The alarm information of the command center made him very alarmed. This newcomer area, set up less than a month, equivalent to opening a service. There were actually others to probe him, although I didn't see it with my own eyes. The records of the command center clearly show the target of the encounter, the ghost fighter. Is this really bad news? I don't know if I met the second ancestor of the interstellar or the lucky one, who obtained a good mine. If it's the latter, it's okay to say. If you run into the former, it's really unlucky. In terms of probability, Dream Bend overtaking feels that he is a bonanza here, and there are bonanzas or even super bonanzas nearby, and he doesn't believe it. I think that the probability that the other party is the second ancestor of the interstellar world is still greater. What to do? Dream of overtaking in a corner is very irritable. He has not built a group of gunners now. It was also too late for temporary production, and as soon as the war began, there were two options, either to vote or to die. After thinking about it for a while, Dream of Overtaking on the corner decided to see the situation first, and if it was not good, it immediately surrendered. However, how to vote and how to strive for better conditions for yourself are also issues that need to be considered. Dream of overtaking on the corner while thinking, and at the same time lining up the troops of your own building, in case you can use it. Most of the buildings in the Dream Bend overtaking base are only ordinary or rare level, that is, they have invested in the biochemical arsenal, and bought mysterious level drawings, and the speed of building troops is still good. However, no matter how fast the number of barracks is there, it will not be fast. Fears of overtaking on the Dream Bend were justified, and after more than 10 minutes, hundreds of ghost fighters reappeared in the monitoring field of view of its command center. On the eastern line, densely packed with red dots representing the enemy army, asterisk. So much. If it is an ordinary airport, it will take at least dozens of hours to build hundreds of aircraft, and judging by the speed of the opponent's movement, these planes may be only a small part. Thinking like this, I almost scared the Dream Corner to overtake. Big guy, don't fire, I'll vote. None of Meng Ze's ghost fighters reached the opposing command center, and the nearby broadcast of this communication channel, which was almost ignored by Meng Ze, transmitted the message of the opponent's surrender. Seeing the simple and clear communication information above, Meng Ze was particularly speechless, and he also wanted to weigh the strength of the other side. As a result, the base did not see it, and the opposite side knelt directly. Or do you hold on a little longer? Meng Ze gave a reply on a nearby radio channel. A personal communication was sent to the convenience. Meng Ze thought about it and took it. An ordinary face that wanted to cry without tears appeared in the communication. Big guy, don't play. Just your firepower. The little brother can't bear it at all. What conditions do you have for the big guy? Anyway, I have made up my mind to belong to the big guy, and will never resist. The other side is so cheerful that Meng Ze is a little uncomfortable. Since entering this game, he has been careful to behave, and the people he meets are basically big guys. Suddenly, he actually became a big boss in other people, and took the initiative to ask for subordination. Meng Ze once heard about the way of dealing with the defeated in the mouth of the dog-headed bun, but he did not know in detail, only knew that he could take a cut of the other party's resources, and as for the commission market, he had no bottom in his heart. But since the other party threw in the towel and thought about it a little, Meng Ze didn't think there was any need to kill the other party. It's actually not bad to accept the attribution, and let the other party be your own buffer. This person is so astute and knowledgeable. Presumably what information needs to be understood in the future, it should be easy to pass him of it, even if he has any thoughts in the future. Now he has a tiger skin, the second ancestor of the family, the Swinger brother. This identity is also a shock to this kind of rootless figure. Making up his mind, Meng Ze looked at the other party's worried face, and said, I agree with your annexation. As for the Resource Commission, hearing Meng Ze mention the Resource Commission, the heart of Dreaming of Overtaking on the corner was about to raise its throat. What was he doing with a roar of the initiative to surrender? It's not just to keep a glimmer of hope. StarCraft simulates the world, and the probability of newcomers getting bonanza is 1 in 10,000, which is extremely rare. The vast majority of people obtain ordinary mines and poor minerals, of which poor ores account for more than 90% of them. Bonanza, single pile of crystal or 2 million units, recovery of 2,000 units per hour, 20 piles. Ordinary mine, single pile crystal or 500,000 units, recovery 500 units per hour, 20 piles. Poor ore, single pile of crystal or 200,000 units, recovery of 200 units per hour, 20 piles. That is to say, even if he has siphoned off 70% of his resources, the starting point is higher than ordinary mines, let alone poor mines. He is not like the big guy, who was destroyed and reopened in the chaotic battlefield, and he can usually accumulate some resources in the world warehouse. Even if you are destroyed, it is a big deal to wait a week to start over. Players who choose to reopen by inheritance will be reborn in a dedicated area. The technology that once climbed will start again, and as long as the corresponding buildings are rebuilt, they will take effect again. Dream Bend Overtaking is just a newcomer, there is no inventory, and there are few levels of technology, let alone the resources stored in the chaotic battlefield. The initial bonanza was his only capital. The Dream Corner Overtaking has been thought of in his heart. As long as Meng Ze's cut is not higher than 80%, he can endure it. Otherwise, how can you be knocked out and wait another week? Overtaking on the Dream Corner is nervous, like waiting for judgment in the eyes. Meng Ze finally came up with the final number, 30%. Finally, he saw the Dream Corner in the communication, and the shape of the body swayed a little. Did I say too much? Meng Ze said heartily. But then Meng Ze saw the irrepressible joy on the other person's face. Seeing Meng Ze looking at himself, He dreamed of overtaking on the corner, and said busily, "Big guy, I accept this condition, no matter whether the big guy takes a daily commission or a monthly commission." I'm afraid Meng Ze will regret it. Although Meng Ze felt that he was going to have less, he was not so thirsty for resources, so he nodded and said, "Then it's settled. Monthly commission, by the way, how should you give me that commission?" Dream Corner Overtaking knew that he was in a bit of a hurry just now, and the other party must know that he could ask for more, but fortunately, the other party did not regret it, and he was relieved. Just accidentally heard Meng Ze ask. Dream Bend Overtaking was a little stunned. He suspected that the other party did not bother to study before entering the interstellar world. Thinking like this, I felt that it was really unreasonable in my heart. In order to make an appearance in this world, I studied for months without sleep, and read hundreds of articles such as the opening experience of the big guys. As a result, in less than a month, I had to take the initiative to ask to be someone else's little brother. Now Dream of Overtaking in a corner doesn't know how strong Meng Ze really is. I just think it's my bad luck. Fortunately, the other party's commission is not high, which is a blessing in misfortune. However, the annexation clause must be fixed, in case the other party regrets it one day. Asterisk. Thinking of this, Dream Bend Overtaking answered Meng Ze's question first. The big guy sends a private transaction through the free market. Trade whatever you want, and make a consideration. Knowing that there is this function, Meng Ze can easily find it through the intelligent search of the command center. Seeing that Meng Ze understood, Dream Bend overtook, and hurriedly said, "That, big guy, or shall we sign an agreement?" "What agreement?" Meng Ze didn't react for a moment. "It is an agreement that I voluntarily confessed to the big guy, and voluntarily attached to it." This rush to the door as a little brother, actually afraid that I will regret it. After thinking about it, Meng Ze guessed that the other party was afraid that he would regret it in the future. Feeling that he didn't want anything from him, Meng Ze readily agreed. The proposed terms of the agreement are simple, just a few articles. 1. Dream Bend Overtaking pays 30% of the mining resources in its main mining area on time. 2. The two parties are dependent on each other and shall not attack each other. 3. Dream Bend Overtaking must provide Meng Ze with intelligence when Meng Ze needs it, and Meng Ze shall give Dream Bend Overtaking a certain degree of protection when it is attacked and cannot resist on its own. 4. This agreement is certified by StarCraft's Sim World, and defaulters are prohibited from trading for 1 year. After reading it, Meng Ze felt that the terms were very relaxed, but as you can see from the first article, this kid has a lot of ideas. Sensing Meng Ze's gaze, he was nervous under his heart for overtaking in the corner, and unconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva. "How long have you been in this world?" Meng Ze asked. "Big guy, 28 days. I came in as soon as the area opened." Dream Bend Overtook cautiously replied. "Do you know how much crystal ore I spent in more than half a month?" The big guy has only been in for more than half a month. Dream Bend Overtaking was a little shocked, and then hurriedly said, "I don't know." He was a little confused about what Meng Ze meant by that. More than 700 million. What? This amount is completely beyond the imagination of Overtaking on Dream Corners. So, those careful thoughts of yours are completely unnecessary. Meng Ze nodded at the agreement, and then lightly left the imprint of the command center on the agreement. Dream Corner Overtaking understands what Meng Ze means. The big guy can't look at his little commission. No wonder others only need him 30% of the resources. It can be determined that this big guy named Meng Ze must be the second generation of Interstellar, and it seems that the family lineage is not ordinary. Dream Corner Overtaking suddenly regretted a little. The agreement signed just now is not reliable enough. This thigh is not held tightly. When the Dream Bend Overtaking also leaves the imprint of the command center, the signed agreement will be automatically transmitted to the official platform of Interstellar World for retention. The two sides ended the communication, and Meng Ze found an extra field of view on the map. "This newly acquired little brother is very good at things," Meng Ze said heartily. The other party directly shared his vision with him, showing his intention to surrender to him in disguise. Although the agreement clarifies the dependence of the two and also states that the Dream Corner Overtaking is obliged to provide Meng Ze with hostile intelligence, the difference between active and passive is still very large. The younger brother's approach undoubtedly made Meng Ze very satisfied. Switching his vision and seeing the base facilities for Overtaking on Dream Bend, Meng Ze felt that it was actually developing well. The mine seems to be full-fledged, with all kinds of buildings, of course, more than one level higher than Meng Ze's. In order to reassure his little brother, and at the same time have a little shock, Meng Ze shared his vision for 10 minutes of overtaking on the Dream Corner. He believes that his new brother will feel something when he sees the construction of his own base. Sure enough, within a few minutes, a message was sent from the Dream Corner Overtaking, without text, just a series of exclamation marks and kneeling expressions to the boss. After loading a wave in the interstellar world, Meng Ze retreated in a happy mood. It seems that the interstellar world is not as he imagined, full of dangers and big guys. His new little brother dreams of overtaking in a corner. It seems that he knows the interstellar world very well. If it is not for his need to recuperate, so as to maintain a good state tomorrow, today he must pull him to dig deep into the information of the interstellar world and thoroughly investigate. However, if you don't ask today, it's not a big problem. Now the relationship between the big brother and the younger brother has been clear, and the party has come to Japan for a long time. Meng Ze lay on the bed and slept beautifully. The next day, Meng Ze got up early in the morning and prepared to go out to buy a car. This thing also came to mind suddenly. Luo Wei and they will come over today, and Meng Ze is going to earn a performance and pick it up himself. But in this way, when you take a taxi, you don't feel that way. Thinking about it this way, it is natural to have a car. Meng Ze has a driver's license, and when he went to school, he listened to the ghost stories of his classmates, saying that it was a necessary skill for society, and it was good to learn it in advance. So several students made a group purchase package and learned the car at a 7-fold discount. The car is learned, but it is not counted as a driving school practice car, and until now, the number of touching the car is no more than one hand. However, Meng Ze is not weak in his heart. After genetic strengthening, Meng Ze at this time, the ability in all aspects is not half a star. Even if he is a novice driving now, the operation is certainly not skillful, but with his super fast reaction speed, he can greatly compensate for this. Asterisk. As for what car to buy, Meng Ze also thought about it. The first car is too good and unnecessary, even if he, himself is confident, but in the end it is used to practice his hands. Just be decent. Meng Ze knows a lot of vehicle brands, although he couldn't afford it before, but he didn't want money to look at it, and when he bragged with people on the internet, it was also a Mara per capita. However, his goal is very clear this time. Crown Ida, a domestic car, the price is more than 200,000, and the high configuration can reach 300,000, which is a mid to high-end model. The young lady of the 4S store, gentle and charming. Originally Meng Ze only wanted to come to a middle match, but I don't know how, the confusion became the top match. Wait until you take the pro license and drive the newly purchased car out of the 4S store and be blown by the wind. You can calm down. Shopping is really easy to get people on, regardless of gender. Definitely not because of the 4S store reception of the young lady. After buying the car, it was almost 10 o'clock. Meng Ze dialed Luo Wei's phone. Vivi, are you ready to come over? When Luo Wei received Meng Ze's call, she happened to meet with Zhang Lingling's siblings downstairs. Seeing Meng Ze asking, he said, Brother Xiaobai, we are ready. You send us an address, and we will come directly. Where are you? I'll pick you up. Hearing Meng Ze say this, Luo Wei hurriedly covered the phone and said to Zhang Lingling, Lingling, what should I do? Brother Xiaobai said that he came to pick us up. Zhang Lingling knew that Luo Wei was afraid of revealing the location of her home, in case at any time, Meng Ze suddenly came over. The concealment of age and identity may be exposed. Although the intersection of Manhwa Road here is only a few hundred meters away, it is separated by several communities, and the distance should be enough. You tell Brother Bai that we are waiting for him there. Luo Wei told Meng Ze according to Zhang Lingling, and Meng Ze did not have the slightest suspicion. In Meng Ze's heart, although it seems that Luo Wei has a good impression of him, the two are still in the initial stage of their relationship, and it is still very early to meet their parents. Where Luo Wei's house is now, it doesn't matter at all. He didn't even ask Luo Wei's place of work, is afraid that the two have just come into contact, and suddenly the entanglement is too tight, but it scares the other party away. He likes Luo Wei very much. Meng Ze is not familiar with the road conditions in Taiyuan, but fortunately it is easy to navigate. After about 20 minutes, Meng Ze finally arrived at the Manhwa intersection. In the distance, the girl's figure fell into Meng Ze's eyes for the first time, and the beauty of youth made Meng Ze's heart beat a few times rapidly. Parking not far away, Meng Ze got out of the car and waved at them. Brother Xiaobai, are you buying a car? Zhang Lingling walked around Meng Ze's new car, with her hands behind her back. It's a little inconvenient to don't have a car, otherwise I won't be able to pick you up today. Heave. Are you picking us up, or VVA? Zhang Lingling quipped. Of course I will pick you up. Brother Xiaobai, it's okay if we bring more people. Right, Zhang Lingling said. Of course it's okay. How lively are the people? Lingling, don't you introduce it? When Meng Ze came over just now, he naturally saw this young man with a straight face, but a tall figure, but the girls did not introduce him, and he just nodded to the young man, and did not take the initiative to ask. Seeing that Zhang Lingling took the initiative to mention it, she asked. He has no problem with this young man, as long as it is not Luo Wei's boyfriend. However, The young man seemed to be a little hostile to him, and Meng Ze couldn't figure out what was going on for a while. "This is my younger brother Zhang Hao." Zhang Lingling first introduced Meng Ze, and then said to Zhang Hao, "It's called Brother Xiaobai. I don't understand politeness at all." Under Zhang Lingling's fierce attack, Zhang Hao reluctantly called, "Little white brother." Seeing Meng Ze's doubtful eyes, Zhang Lingling said to Meng Ze, "Brother Xiaobai, don't pay attention to him. Let's go." For her younger brother's performance, Zhang Lingling is clear. Luo Wei is a goddess in the minds of male classmates in Taiyuan 7th Middle School, and Zhang Hao is also an admirer of Luo Wei, and today he was pulled strong by his sister, and he can see that he is actually Luo Wei's boyfriend, and it is strange that he can be in a good mood. Zhang Hao is young, does not know how to hide emotions, all thoughts are written on his face, naturally cannot give Meng Ze any good face. Seeing Zhang Lingling say this, Meng Ze took it as if she hadn't seen it. Even Zhang Lingling's younger brother can only be said to be a counter, and Meng Ze is not going to chase Zhang Lingling, and he can't stick a hot face to a cold ass. From Meng Ze to the present, it has always been Zhang Lingling talking. There's Zhang Hao, an outsider, and also openly and secretly saying that Meng Ze is Luo Wei's boyfriend. Luo Wei was shy in her heart, and for a while, she didn't say a word. Several people got into the car, and Luo Wei was forcibly pressed on the co-pilot by Zhang Lingling. The fastening seat belt highlights the girl's beautiful figure. Meng Ze silently gave Zhang Lingling 100 likes in his heart, which is simply a good girlfriend of Huaxia. Asterisk. Brother Xiaobai, I found that you were handsome today. Are you going for beauty? Hearing Zhang Lingling's question, Luo Wei also looked at Meng Ze with curious eyes. As soon as Meng Ze came today, Luo Wei noticed his change. Not to mention that it is a change of person, but whether it is skin color and temperament, it seems to have changed a lot, which makes the girl's heartbeat a little faster. Haha, I'm a man. What kind of beauty is it? Is it really as good as you say? Then I will be proud. Meng Ze laughed and brought the topic over. Zhang Lingling and Luo Wei muttered across the chair for a while, and finally concluded that Meng Ze had indeed become handsome. The party did not say. Zhang Lingling directly attributed the reason to Luo Wei. Zhang Hao, who was sitting next to his sister, listened with discouragement, although he also knew that in Luo Wei, he only had the identity of Zhang Lingling's younger brother, but it did not hinder his dislike of Meng Ze at all. Now seeing that Meng Ze has always been the center of the girls' conversation, I couldn't help but snort, but she was instantly suppressed by her sister. Meng Ze saw this scene, his heart was funny. Zhang Hao, who was tall, was actually bullied by his sister like a little boy. I don't know if every sibling family has a domineering sister. Drive straight to Meng Ze's new home. The curious girls ran in the first moment Meng Ze opened the door. Wow, that's big. Looking at Meng Ze's newly purchased house, the 180 square meter apartment looks very spacious. Brother Xiaobai, did you really buy it? Zhang Lingling pulled her girlfriend and walked through all the rooms. Meng Ze greeted the reluctant Zhang Hao, handing him fruits and cigarettes. Seeing the cigarette, Zhang Hao's face darkened a little. This man is an adult, much older than them, and actually the old cow gnaws tender flowers. Meng Ze and Zhang Hao stared at each other wide-eyed, and when they heard Zhang Lingling's question, they got up and took out the real estate deed from the room. I didn't lie to you. This is not Meng Ze deliberately showing off. He can see that although Zhang Lingling seems to talk a lot, in fact, this girl is very suspicious, and simply takes out the real estate certificate as proof. After flipping through the real estate deed, Luo Wei glanced at Zhang Lingling. I remembered that my girlfriend was still saying when she was in the bedroom just now, she was so beautiful, although Brother Bai looked reliable, but she also had to guard against being retained, and now Lingling should be relieved. Brother Xiaobai, are you really sure you have made your home in Taiyuan? I told you didn't believe it. I believe. We Vivi also believe. Are you for Vivi? Zhang Lingling's words Meng Ze did not deny, and gave the girl a gentle look. Oops, a sour smell of love. Zhang Lingling slapped her nose playfully. Luo Wei's face turned red, and she couldn't help but pat her girlfriend a few times. Several people laughed for a while, and it was close to noon. Meng Ze's pre-ordered meals were delivered in time and set on a slow table. Zhang Lingling was quite satisfied with Meng Ze's big hand, and even Zhang Hao, who was originally unhappy, ate with relish. After eating and sitting for a while, the girls took their leave, just like Meng Ze. Meng Ze had the intention to keep Luo Wei for a while, but couldn't find a good reason, saying that he wanted to send several people home. The girls refused. Watching Luo Wei leave, Meng Ze felt that her heart was empty. Pack up the rest of your meals, and put them in the refrigerator. The dishes and chopsticks were packed into a box, placed outside the door, and hung up with the hotel staff, and asked them to come and collect them. Closing the door, Meng Ze lay in bed for a moment, and Ray entered the interstellar world. Immersed in this almost chaotic world, Meng Ze's mind gradually recovered. The girl is good, but it's a pity that the two are still in a hazy relationship. Say it's in love. No one has officially admitted it. Say it's not in love. When Zhang Lingling joked, no one denied it. After feeling the beauty of the real world, in the interstellar world, Meng Ze feels the iron-blooded Jinj sitting in the commander's seat, wearing the commander's exclusive cool outfit. Meng Ze seems to be able to feel that he is slowly retreating from the youth on his body, and gradually entering the role of a general who holds 1,000 armies. There are still 8 or 9 million short of purchasing the 50 million crystal or stocks of the secondary command center. Meng Ze suspended all production and research pending upgrades. Idle. Meng Ze pulled his dream corner out to overtake and chat. Dream Bend Overtaking is on call and has a very good attitude. Big guy, you're finally here. When Meng Ze was not in the game, Dream Bend overtook and called Meng Ze several times. Meng Ze saw this information on the virtual projection screen, but first, it was inconvenient, and second, dreaming of overtaking on a corner didn't seem to be too important, just wanted to have a relationship with the big guy Lara, so Meng Ze ignored it at the time. This makes Dream Bend Overtaking mistakenly believe that the big guy doesn't care so much about this game at all. Otherwise, how can people be absent all day long, even if there are no resources to spend? Reconnaissance, pathfinding, understanding the latest interstellar information, contact relationships, there is always something to do. Asterisk. Dream Bend Overtaking is really a good little brother, and Meng Ze's understanding of the game is difficult for Meng Ze to match. Overtake Meng Ze through Dream Bend to learn the rules of the entire StarCraft simulation world. In the propaganda of the Imperial Federation, StarCraft's simulation world claims to be an immersive and fully realistic simulation world developed by the Imperial Federation with the latest technology, except that the player who enters does not really die inside. Everything else is undoubtedly true to the truth. As long as they are not forced to quit for a period of time because of death, players can even spend their entire lives in it. The entire interstellar world is open to citizens of all Imperial Federations as well as affiliated races. However, due to the high technical level of the StarCraft simulation world, it is extremely difficult for the world to expand, so not everyone can get the admission qualification to the StarCraft simulation world. Unlike Meng Ze, a stowaway, Dream Bend Overtaking in order to qualify for entry not only took a special exam, but also had a waiting period of almost half a year. Each batch of players enters because the interstellar world has opened up a new area. For example, the area where Meng Ze is located is the 320th new district under the 117 war zone, which is actually equivalent to the novice village in the game. When players enter the game for 3 years, or when the player's command center level reaches level 3, they will passively enter a place called the Chaos Battlefield. Meng Ze's familiar 117 theater is an area that belongs to the chaotic battlefield. That is where countless bigwigs really gather and compete for dominance. Previously, Meng Ze, as a melon-eating mass, witnessed the war between the God of War Alliance and the Vertical and Horizontal City Alliance, which occurred in the 117 war zone of the chaotic battlefield. Out of passively entering the chaotic battlefield, there is another way to take the initiative to enter in advance, which is even lower, as long as the command center is second level. But generally speaking, few fools will choose to go to the battlefield so early to deliver food. So, Dream Brother, so I'm okay in this area. The more he learned about the game, the more Meng Ze found that he wasn't that dangerous, at least not until he entered the chaotic battlefield, as if he were still the dominant in the area. Hearing the words of the big guy he just recognized, he was speechless about overtaking on the dream corner. Big guy, if you can't count it, then what are we? It's not the little brother I boast about. If it weren't for the big guy the strength of the little brother around this is also a handful. With that, Dream Bend overtook and sent 2 agreements over. After Meng Ze saw it, he was quite emotional, but he didn't expect that in just one day, his little brother would actually accept his little brother. What is this? Little brother's little brother. It feels like a pyramid scheme. Dream Bend Overtaking suffered a loss of troop vacancies here in Meng Ze, and as soon as it turned around, it made up a large wave of troops. Then as soon as I explored, I found 2 unlucky eggs. One is a poor mine, fought a wave of overtaking on the Dream Bend, and then was crippled. As soon as he fired fiercely, he simply abandoned the mine and went out to wait for a new start. The other is an ordinary mine, and after losing, accepted the conditions of overtaking on the Dream Corner. Perhaps under the influence of Meng Ze, the conditions given by the Dream Corner overtaking are also 30% commission, and even the agreement is almost a copy of the agreement with Meng Ze. It's just that the beneficiary side becomes a dream corner overtaking. Meng Ze deliberately paid attention to the map and found that including the newly occupied and collected younger brother, this guy who dreamed of overtaking on the corner actually occupied 5 mines. If Meng Ze hadn't been able to confirm that only 1 day had passed, how long would he have thought he had been gone? The practice of overtaking in dream corners is a wake-up call for Meng Ze to make an expansion gesture whether he needs it or not. Otherwise, in the early stage, it can be said that it is a mine supported by the background, but in the back, I have not divided the mine, and there are so many resources, there will always be people who are suspicious. A few more mining areas can play a hidden effect. With the resolution of Meng Ze's identity issue, the wall is now gone. Meng Ze opened up internal and external troops, and finally could flow freely. However, Meng Ze, the unit of the Underground Research Institute, was not completely transferred back, and about 5,000 troops were retained there, ready to be used as a surprise force. Of course, it doesn't necessarily work. Meng Ze scattered his ghost fighter. According to the Dream Bend overtaking, now this is the new district, and there are almost no opponents themselves. So Meng Ze also let go of probing and prepared for expansion. To take care of his younger brother, Meng Ze avoided the westward direction. Meng Ze's troops overtook much more than Dream Bend, and it was again a very fast ghost fighter that scouted the way. After more than 2 hours, Meng Ze made discoveries one after another. Northwest, 550 kilometers, 1 poor mine. Just south and slightly west, 700 kilometers, there is a poor mine. To the southeast, 630 kilometers, there is a poor mine, which has been occupied. Due east-north, 780 kilometers, is a poor mine, which has been occupied. True east, 700 kilometers, a common mine, which has been occupied. Meng Ze lost 1 ghost fighter. Slightly east due north, 960 kilometers, there is a poor mine. Together with the Dream Bend overtaking and his vassal brother's mining area, centered on the Meng Ze base, there are a total of 13 mining areas within 1,000 kilometers. 5 overtakes on Dream Bend, 1 at Meng Ze headquarters, 1 previously detected due north, and 6 newly detected mines. 3 of the new mines have been occupied, and these people will be the target of Meng Ze's cleanup or subduing. Meng Ze's first priority right now is to save money to upgrade the command center, but that doesn't mean he can't do something ahead of time. Meng Ze, the mining area occupied by someone, was left alone, and the other 4 mining areas were first seized by sending troops to seize it. Each transport aircraft is capable of carrying 20 units of troops, while the Meng Ze has 1,000. If it is all used to transport biochemical spearmen, medical soldiers, spiders, etc., it is 20,000 troops at a time, which is quite terrifying. Just occupy a mine. Naturally, there is no need for such fanfare. Meng Ze transported 1,000 biochemical lancers, 100 medics, and 200 Spitfires to each mine as guards. Subsequently, 40 more engineers were placed in each mining area. In the early stage, the construction of forts, missile launch pads, supply depots and other defensive and supply buildings began. With these troops and buildings, Meng Ze felt that dealing with the players around him should be about the same. Wait until these things are done. While Meng Ze was waiting for the accumulated crystal or resources to be promoted to the secondary command center, he suddenly had an idea and realized a problem. It seems to be a wrong choice to be so obsessed with upgrading the second-level command center now. I thought about upgrading because there was pressure to survive, but this time in another moment, through the dream corner overtaking brother, he already knows that almost no one around can threaten him now. Is it still necessary to insist on upgrading the command center first? As soon as he changed his mind, Meng Ze naturally understood what to choose. Opened the world market and bought 4 first-level command centers in a row. The delivery location is specified in the mining area unit as the coordinates. 40 million was spent, and within 2 minutes, new command centers were in place. With the fall of the new command center, the production of unmanned mining machines was immediately arranged. Unlike Meng Ze's home mine, the new mine has limited regeneration capacity for crystal ore, calculated by Meng Ze. With the existing mining capacity of the unmanned mining machine after addition, the pour or pile can achieve full mining of 15 unmanned mining machines per pile. For each pile of crystal ore in ordinary mining areas, 50 unmanned mining machines are required to achieve full mining. According to the estimated results, Meng Ze has manufactured 240 unmanned mining machines in each of the 3 new pour mining sites, and 600 unmanned mining machines in ordinary mines. In less than an hour, the drone production of the pour mine was completed, and the result was similar to Meng Ze's calculation. and the full mining was successfully achieved. Different from the super high regeneration capacity of the main mine, you can see that you can't finish eating. Meng Ze is delighted with the full mining of the new mine. However, when Meng Ze calculated the daily production capacity, the full harvest instantly stopped fragrant. The total daily output of poor mines is 960,000. And the daily output of ordinary mines is only 2.4 million. Compared to the main department, even if only a small part can be mined, the daily production is as high as 57.6 million units. The 4 new mining areas can only be regarded as an addition. Thinking of this, Meng Ze silently opened the scientific and technological research of the Engineering Research Institute, especially the individual weapon, which is a sharp weapon to increase mining capacity. By the time Meng Ze came out of the interstellar world, it was already night. The rest of the lunch meal was warmed up, and a small table was set up on the balcony. Meng Ze eats his dinner with relish as the beautiful night scene of Taiyuan. Once upon a time, having a house of his own was Meng Ze's dream. Today, he not only has a house and a car, but also a beautiful girlfriend like Luo Wei, and Meng Ze is satisfied with this. Just thinking about Luo Wei sent a message. Meng Ze clicked on it, and there were many pictures of clothes inside. Brother bye, these are the results of our shopping this afternoon. Which dress do you say looks the best? Luo Wei in reality doesn't talk much and is easily shy, but across the mobile phone, Luo Wei is obviously much livelier. Listening to the girl's soft words, Meng Ze felt that his sonorous aura of commanding 1,000 armies in the interstellar world was instantly softened by half. People rely on clothes. Clothes also need people to set off. If Vivi wears it, I think any clothes look good. Meng Ze is not a straight man, and at this time, he does not hesitate to praise girls. Although the girl said no, Meng Ze could clearly feel that the other party was very happy. When Meng Ze pretended to be forced to choose one of them, the girl told him to give reasons, and if he said it was not good, he had to accept the girl's criticism. Such and such. Between the two, there seemed to be endless words. Men and women in love have no concept of time, and often a little thing can waste half a day. When Meng Ze reluctantly put down his phone, it was late at night. Luo Wei's house. Husband, something is wrong with Vivi recently. Luo Wei's mother pushed her husband, who was working. What's wrong? Is there anything uncomfortable about Vivi? Luo Xiang asked without raising his head. Luo Wei's mother slapped her husband hatefully, and said, I know about work, and I don't care about my daughter at all. Luo Xiang raised his head helplessly. He was studying the circuit diagram designed by others, and finally sorted it out, but was slapped by his wife. What's wrong with Vivi? I see that she is fine when she eats. Who said she was sick? Mother Luo looked at her husband angrily and said, didn't you notice that my daughter has a lot more time playing with her mobile phone now? From time to time, he is still laughing inexplicably. What does it matter? She usually doesn't bring her mobile phone to school. At most, she just plays with the holidays at night for a while. Hey, you're such a wooden head. Don't you think Vivi is in love? Her husband is also too insensitive, and Mother Luo is so angry. Really in love? And his classmates. Hearing his wife's words, Luo Xiang finally became serious. If her daughter is older, it is normal to fall in love. But Luo Wei is still in the second year of high school, and these 2 years are the key moments for learning, and it is definitely not possible to fall in love at this time. I'm not sure, but the way she looks now, it looks like she's in love. Tonight she went back to the house as soon as she had eaten, giggling a few times from time to time, and I went several times and each time I saw her playing with her phone. Luo Wei's mother did not say death, but only talked about the phenomenon she saw. But women are quite sensitive to this, especially their own daughters. So what are you going to do? First of all, you can't use tough means. Vivi knows her nature. Don't hurt her. Luo Xiang first gave his wife a vaccination. If Luo Wei is really in love, it is okay to correct, but pay attention to the method. Okay, I know. I'll observe again. And you should pay more attention when you pick up Vivi from school to see if there are any boys who are closer to her. Luo Wei's mother confessed to her husband. Listening to his wife talk about this, Luo Xiang was a little big. How can I see this? You don't know how popular we Vivi are at school. When I pick her up every day, I don't know how many boys greet her, and I am bold, and I run to me to call uncle. Raising an excellent daughter, Luo Xiang has long been accustomed to the fact that many boys like their daughters, but his daughter's performance before made him very relieved. If a new situation suddenly appears in his wife's mouth, and he has to distinguish it, it is simply fatal. If he is sociable and observant, can he only be a technical team leader for decades? With his technical skills, he is long overdue to become a manager. However, his wife has an explanation. no matter how difficult it is. Luo Xiong feels that his hair is going to be less again. If you know which guy is tempting your daughter, you must always give him a good look, Luo Xiangxin said. Meng Ze didn't know that because Luo Wei was not good at covering up. He had been worried about Luo's father and Luo's mother. Lying in bed, Meng Ze tossed and turned for a long time before falling asleep. Now I have too little time with Vivi, and I have to find a chance to ask Vivi where she works, and if we can pick her up and commute to work. Then we will spend a lot more time together, which will also prevent being poached. Before falling asleep, Meng Ze made a decision in his heart. Zhang Ling said that she and Luo Wei couldn't use their mobile phones when they went to work. Meng Ze knows that some companies do have such regulations and has no doubts. The next Monday, it was Luo Wei's time to go to work, and Meng Ze left a message for Luo Wei on her mobile phone. Then he refocused on the situation in the interstellar world. The novice area is generally peaceful, perhaps because everyone has not yet developed, but the war zone is very lively. There is information about the war every day, and scolding is even more common for those who have been attacked by sneak attacks. As soon as I got up today, the virtual projection screen showed that the Dream Corner overtaking brother and the dog-headed bun boss all sent him messages. Perhaps judging that the information was not urgent, the system did not disturb Meng Ze's sleep. Meng Ze first opened the dog's head bun's message. Brother Meng Ze, I remember you have only just entered the game. Which new district are you in? Is it 320 new district? Meng Ze did not reply for the time being, and then clicked on the message of overtaking on Dream Bend. There were dozens of messages, almost every half an hour. Big guy, are you there? Big guy, appear soon. Big event. Meng Ze did not read the message. Seeing that the Dream Corner overtook so quickly, simply dialed his video communication directly. As soon as the video was connected, Dream Bend overtook and said impatiently, Big guy, you are finally here, and large ruins have been found in our area. P.S. Big guy, urge more words to be less. 6,000 is just right, 9,000 to fight 12,000 is simply fatal.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.